Hi, welcome. Come on in. Hi, everybody. I have a couple cameras going because Instagram's not working on my desktop. So, hi, Instagram over here, YouTube, Facebook, couple other places over here. Thank you for joining me. This is day 4 of 100. I'm doing 100 days live with you. And I am basing my days on the fact that it takes 90 to 100 days to improve egg quality. That's one parameter that we're looking at. But also, more importantly, is I'm getting people sending me DMs and messages and comments and with questions. And so that's what I'm answering in here as well. So thank you so much. If you're watching this live, if you're watching a recording of this, if you do look in the comments here, hopefully it goes to all of them or I'll upload it after. I'm sending you a link here. If you want to join me live to ask private Q&A, I have a private Zoom that I do with women weekly. So that is in the comments. And if you don't see that, then feel free to message me and get that. Welcome, welcome. This is day 4. I also ask you to subscribe so you get alerts when these videos are released. And then you can pop on and ask questions. Sometimes I don't see them, so you may have to repeat it, and I'll look as best I can. Today I want to talk to you about a question that I've been getting a lot lately, and it's a common question, is how do I balance my hormones? So that's a big question. Now, first, before I answer that and give you some ideas on how women do that, or women that I work with that do that, let's talk about hormonal imbalances and specifically related to trying to conceive. Okay, so for fertility health, how do we balance our hormones if that's what we've heard from a doctor or we've been reading and we're like, oh my gosh, I have symptoms. I've got symptoms that I have an imbalance with my hormones. So this is very common and one of the most common things that prevents a woman from being able to get pregnant. So I want to give you some common examples that I see with clients and patients that I work with to help to get pregnant. Now, one of the main areas that I see with hormone imbalance is PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome. So this is a common hormonal disorder with women that are trying to get pregnant. So meaning some of the symptoms may be like infrequent or prolonged menstrual periods, high androgen level, hormone levels. The ovaries, they can have collections of fluid or little follicles, and then they fail to regularly release eggs. So they're not ovulating, or they've got heavy periods, they've got some hair growth on their face. There's different symptoms like heavy periods is what I see quite often. Also, I'll see hypothyroid or hyperthyroid. This is thyroid disorders, either underactive or overactive thyroid. And often that disrupts menstrual cycles. And that can interfere with ovulation, and it can be a cause of infertility, unfortunately. And then there's also high prolactin levels. And that's a hormone produced in the pituitary gland. And it stimulates breast development and milk production in pregnancy, but sometimes that can impact reproductive functions as well, including ovulation and the menstrual cycle. And then also I'm checking for questions. I don't see anything. If I'm missing your question, just retype it in there and I'll answer it tomorrow. Okay, so back. Again, if you're just joining, then definitely subscribe or check the comments. And if you're interested in a private Q&A with me on a live Zoom call, I do a very small group. You're welcome to join there. Okay, so we talked about PCOS, high prolactin, hyperthyroidism as causing some hormonal imbalances, but also I get often as low ovarian reserve. And this is a decrease in number of the quality of the eggs in the ovaries. And often this is because women will wait, or something's caused them to wait until they're over 35. And I got pregnant and had a baby just shy of 42 years old. So it's possible. And I've worked with the majority, I've helped over 2,000 women and couples to get pregnant. And I would say 90% or more over 35. So women are doing this. There's just certain things that we focus on to improve the egg quality. And that's why I'm doing 100 days, because it takes 90 to 100 days to improve egg quality. All right. What else have we got? So also luteal phase defect, and that is cycle shorter than normal, and there's a fluctuation of hormones of progesterone is too low, and that can impact implantation of an embryo, and then of course give trouble getting pregnant. Let's see, elevated androgen levels, and then estrogen imbalances also. So what do? How do we improve this? There's a number of things, but I think one of the biggest challenges that I see working with Western patients is that we get one thing like, oh, I've got low ovarian reserve. And that's like the one thing that that's all we hone in on. And then we start like looking and Dr. Googling and bringing all these things in. And then we get the overwhelm because we're like, okay, I've just read all this different information. I still don't know what to do. And then maybe you see something about, like this supplement or this supplement. And I try to help educate people to the point of taking the overwhelm away. And that's why I offer you to join me live to simplify things. If you want to join the private Zoom, check the comments. There's a link there. If you don't see it, then just reach out or DM me. If you have questions, you can either post them on here or you can DM me. If you're on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, you have to comment, but you can find me to ask questions. And I hope I can answer them in a reasonable time when I get a notification. So what do we do? What I do, I'm a holistic doctor. And like I said, I've helped over 2,000 women and couples to get pregnant over the last 23 plus years. And everybody's different. So every person that I work with gets a success plan for pregnancy and health. And what that means is whether you come in with a diagnosis or not, we go through medical history. And this is helpful to learn about balancing your own hormones, is getting a journal and just start writing down symptoms. Like, I don't even know. I'm not asking you to diagnose yourself, but sit there and say, what is uncomfortable? What is different? Are my cycles short? Are they irregular? Do I have really painful periods? Am I bleeding twice a month? Am I bleeding during ovulation? Can I tell if I'm ovulating or not? There's so many questions. And then we also look at stress levels, sleep, digestive issues. If the gut has inflammation, most likely the womb will have inflammation, and then that causes irregular ovulation. So there's so many things, but to say there's a million questions, there's a million things that you could look at and can look at, but it's important to work with somebody and give them the details. That's why I say write a journal and just start today. Write down 3 things that you're like, I've been wondering about this. I wake up every night between 11 and 1 or 1 to 3. Or there's different 2-hour segments of the day that people feel worse. That can even give us information on, oh, okay, this organ's involved. And there's 3 different organs. So what I'm doing now by giving you these ideas is saying we need to find the root cause. If you're diagnosed with low ovarian reserve, why? What is happening? Aside from age, that's the obvious. That's the most common reason. But that's because certain systems and certain organs that are really crucial for fertility health, they're taxed, they're fatigued, they're deficient. And that's what we have to work on. Either we have to work on blood, replenishing blood, increasing blood flow, improving blood circulation. There's so many things to look at. So if there's any homework, get yourself a journal. I have notebooks everywhere. I don't have my journal. Well, I do. I have like multiple pads everywhere, but it doesn't have to be fancy, although there are some really cute journals out there. But get yourself a journal and just put the date. And it doesn't have to be like, spend 2 minutes on it. What's bothering me today? Or what am I curious about learning about myself? And then I think that's the best way to start to work on balancing hormones, is to identify discomforts or concerns, identify them first, list them out, and start to see if there's any patterns. So maybe you do this for 7 days. Maybe you do this for 14 days. Maybe you do it for 3 days. Also, if you're going to do that, then track your food. What time of day are you eating? What are you eating? Do you feel sleepy? Do you get cramps? Do you get headaches? Do you get migraines? Do you get neck pain? Do you get shoulder pain? When do you have stress? Do you have anxiety? All these things are connected, and all of these things are giving you information. So I hope that this is helpful. This is day 4. I will see you tomorrow for day 5.